Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Hanging Out. In today's episode, we're going to make a mixtape, something that is very near and dear to my heart. Making a mixtape is a special art all on its own. We're collaborating with other artists and musicians to come up with our very own love language. And we use this language to tell our friends, our family, our loved ones that we care about them. Or maybe we're just making a mixtape for ourselves. It's a great way to compile music that we love. Either way, I'm very excited. But before we get into it, let's make some tea. First things first, we gotta find a blank tape. I know there's one around here somewhere. Aha, here we go. Next, we're gonna wanna set some vibe, light a candle or two. Making mixtapes is a long process. Now that we have our tape, we're gonna wanna pre-roll it. This will ensure that when we hit record, it'll start recording right away. Then we'll load the tape cassette into our tape cassette deck. Press pause, arm recording, reset the counter. Next, we make our selections. My preferred medium is vinyl. I have a special connection with vinyl, and I love the way that it sounds. My first memories were musical. My mom used to listen to records all the time. In fact, this belonged to her. I remember my first drawing was of this record cover. Daniel Johnston. I was born in 1983. Rest in peace, Daniel. Looks like we made some good selections. The next step is picking the opening track. This is a very important part, and I think I have just the record in mind. One of my brother's philosophies is to start each day anew, like a blank tape. Life's a blank tape. I couldn't agree more. I love this song. This is definitely the opener. Now while the track plays, we're going to want to set our levels. Turn the record level up until the meters start dancing. Keep turning until they get into the red, and then back it off just a little bit. Now we're ready to record our first song. It's all about timing. Nailed it. I think you guys got it from here. What will you do with your blank tape? Hello friends, and welcome to another edition of Q's and A's, where I answer your questions about my creative process and this show. Let's get into it. Okay, first things first, I have a question for you. My dad says I shouldn't wear my Denver Nuggets hoodie anymore when I make these videos. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. All right, let's do this. What program/equipment would you recommend to make music with? If you are new to audio software, I would recommend doing some shopping around. Most DAWs or digital audio workstations like Logic, Pro Tools, Ableton Live, all have very similar offerings, though the workflow can be vastly different. So really it's just a matter of what sparks your creativity and what keeps that creative flow moving. Nowadays, most DAWs offer free trials. I would recommend getting online and downloading some free trials and see which one feels like a good fit. As far as equipment goes, if you're trying to put together a little home studio, I would put together a small budget and to keep these 4 things in mind when you're doing your shopping. You're going to need an audio interface, you're going to need a decent microphone, you're going to need a decent pair of headphones or speakers, and you're going to need cables to hook those up with. I would budget $200 to $500 for starters if you're putting a small studio together, and don't ever rule out secondhand or used gear. Coffee or tea? While I appreciate both coffee and tea, it is tea for me. Do you shoot these episodes with your phone? I do use my phone as a second camera from time to time, but for the most part I'm shooting on this camera here, which is a Sony a6000. It's a mirrorless camera. I would highly recommend it for people who are just getting started with photography or videography. It's been a great camera for me. What is the most important investment you can make as an artist? This is a wonderful question, and I think I could do a whole episode on the answer. But in short, I think the most important investment you could make as an artist is in yourself. To realize that you have something unique to offer the world, that your perspective is unique. And just like we discovered in our last episode on creativity, all we have to do is keep that channel open. I hope that answers your question. Okay, that's it for Q's and A's. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you for your questions. I sure hope you got something out of it. I know that I did. Please like and subscribe, as that helps me to reach a wider audience. And until we meet again, happy trails.